Former President Joe Biden was among many global luminaries in attendance at Pope Francis's funeral on Saturday at the Vatican. The funeral drew leaders, diplomats, and religious figures from around the world, marking the end of an era under Pope Francis's significant leadership. However, no longer being the leader of the free world has changed everything for Biden, altering the protocol and positioning he once enjoyed on the world stage. Biden was accompanied by his wife, former First Lady Jill Biden, who stayed close by his side throughout the event. However, unlike previous occasions when he would have been seated among sitting world leaders, they were not seated near President Donald Trump or other current heads of state. Instead, the couple sat toward the back of the foreign dignitaries section, a clear reflection of the fact that they are no longer active heads of state. The seating arrangement did not go unnoticed by those following the event online. One account on X commented, "Biden is no longer part of the cool kids club," sharing an image that captured Biden seated toward the back of the section at the funeral, appearing somber and reflective. Meanwhile, another user remarked on X, "LMAO, they put Biden in the way back at the funeral of Pope Francis," with the post gaining traction among those commenting on the perceived symbolism of his seating placement. "Look at how lost he looks," another person added, as images circulated showing Biden looking around the section while being escorted. Yet another comment said, "They put Biden in the back of the Pope's funeral like a dog," echoing the sentiments of some observers who perceived the arrangement as a demotion in status. Adding to the commentary, someone else posted, "Joe Biden was treated like a nursing home patient on the world stage. President Trump is treated like a rock star on the world stage," highlighting the stark contrast between how some believe Biden and Trump are treated internationally. Images showing Biden seated far from Trump and other world leaders were widely shared across social media. Biden was also seen being escorted to his seat by his wife and a priest, gripping onto both and moving cautiously. The scene drew attention from both attendees and media, who noted the assistance provided to the former president as he navigated the event. Once settled in his seating area, Biden was seen taking selfies with Uganda's Deputy Speaker of Parliament, Thomas Tayebwa, before the funeral officially began. The two appeared to be in good spirits, briefly sharing smiles despite the solemn occasion. Biden posed in several other photos with mourners attending the funeral, smiling in each snapshot. His interactions with various dignitaries and attendees reflected his long-standing reputation for personal warmth and approachability, even in formal and somber settings. Biden, the second Catholic U.S. president, had previously visited the Vatican, back in October 2021. During that historic meeting, he and Pope Francis discussed a range of important global topics, including climate change and advocacy for the poor, according to a transcript from the meeting. The visit underscored Biden's deep respect for the pontiff and their shared concern for vulnerable communities. Biden had previously met Pope Francis on several other occasions over the years, including during the Pope's landmark visit to the United States in 2015. That visit was particularly significant, as it marked a moment of celebration and unity among American Catholics, with Biden playing a key role as the highest-ranking Catholic in the U.S. government at the time. More recently, he also met with Pope Francis this past June at the G7 Leaders Summit in Apulia, Italy. During that meeting, the two discussed urgent international issues, including the ongoing Israel-Hamas war, the worsening humanitarian crisis in Gaza, and the ongoing conflict between Ukraine and Russia, according to a readout of the meeting. These discussions reflected the shared concern of both leaders for peace, humanitarian relief, and the well-being of marginalized populations affected by conflict. Biden, who awarded Pope Francis the Presidential Medal of Freedom in January, has often spoken with deep admiration for the pontiff. On Monday, following the news of the Pope's death, he described him as a consequential leader and a pope for everyone, recognizing the global impact Francis had across religious and cultural lines. In a heartfelt post on X Monday morning, Biden wrote, "He was unlike any who came before him. Pope Francis will be remembered as one of the most consequential leaders of our time, and I am better for having known him. For decades, he served the most vulnerable across Argentina, and his mission of serving the poor never ceased. As Pope, he was a loving pastor and a challenging teacher who reached out to different faiths. His tribute reflected the deep respect and personal connection he felt toward the late pontiff. The Vatican provided additional details about Pope Francis's final days. Dr. Andrea Arcangeli, the head of the Vatican's health department, explained that the Pope died of a cerebral stroke that ultimately caused heart failure. The stroke put him into a coma, and he later suffered irreversible heart failure, according to Vatican officials. His passing marked the end of a remarkable papacy that had left an indelible mark on the world. Pope Francis had been elected to the papacy on March 13, 2013, becoming the first Jesuit to serve as pope. His election represented a shift in the Catholic Church's history, and throughout his tenure, he was known for his focus on social justice, humility, and outreach to marginalized communities around the globe. The Pope's last public appearance came on Easter Sunday at St. Peter's Square, where he addressed thousands of the faithful. Despite his declining health, he maintained his commitment to his pastoral duties until the very end, offering blessings and words of hope. Biden's office did not immediately respond to a request for comment regarding his reflections on attending the funeral and the legacy of Pope Francis. Diana Stancy contributed to this report, providing additional context and coverage of the international response to the Pope's passing. Stephen E. Price, a writer, who covers topics including missing persons, homicides, national crime cases, illegal immigration, and more, also contributed to gathering background information and insights for this coverage.